Hello friends, this is Ranjith. Welcome back to my YouTube channel Learn with me. So friends, in last session we discussed how to find a square root of a number which is not a perfect square. In this session we are going to discuss about very important topic from quantitative aptitude, that is nothing but ratio and proportion, friends. So it is considered to be a very important topic because all other application sums, whether it is profit and loss, time and distance, time and work, compound interest and simple interest, this topic usually consists of more number of problems based on ratio and proportion, friends. So to solve those application sums, you really need to be strong in this topic. So in this video I will cover all the basic concepts. I will try to make you strong in basic concepts, and I will discuss couple of examples so that your concept should be little clear. So we will discuss some couple of examples. In next video I will come up with more examples so that you can understand in a better manner, friends. So let's begin the video. And if you like this video, please hit the like button and share this video with your friends so they can also learn this topic. And make sure you watch this video till end, because this video is really important for you guys to understand the basic concept of ratio and proportion, guys. So let's begin the video without further delay. Let's move on, friends. Thank you so much. So friends, let's begin our session. Friends, first of all we have to understand what is ratio. What does it mean? Why we are using ratio and proportion? So we should know about it clearly before we move on to solving sums. So friends, ratio is nothing. It is used to compare two or more similar quantities, friends. I will explain you this with one real world example. For example, if I say A earns 5 times more than B, right? So it's a simple English statement that A earns more than B. Okay, if I say how much, we can say 5 times. So if I ask you, write an expression for this statement, how you will write? In mathematics we used to write A equals to 5B, right? This is in a mathematical expression, right? So if I ask you, write this expression in terms of fraction, how you will write? You will write A by B equals to 5 by 1. So this is fractional expression, right? Very easy, guys. See, now if I ask you, show me this expression in terms of ratio, that time what we will do? We will do nothing, guys. Simply what we will write, A is to B equals to 5 is to 1, right? This is called ratio. So what is ratio? If we write this fraction expression in terms of is to, it is called ratio, friends. That's it, guys. It is nothing more than this. This is what you have to understand. You can write it in mathematical expression also, you can write it in fractional expression also, you can write it in terms of ratio also, right, guys? So this is all about ratio. And one more thing, guys, if I write A is to B equals to 5 is to 1, that doesn't mean that A earns 5 rupees and B earns 1 rupees. Friends, this is just a relationship, guys. Who knows, A might earn 500 rupees, B might earn 100 rupees, but their ratio is 5 is to 1 when you solve 500 and 100. And we really don't know what is the exact value. If somebody is giving you the ratio, please don't assume that is an actual value. That is just a ratio. That is a relationship between two quantities. That is not an actual value, guys. So please remember that thing. So this is all about the ratio, guys. This is a basic thing. I'm just saying it is only for the beginners, those who doesn't know that what is ratio and why we are using it. So this is the ratio. If you write in a fraction value in terms of ratio, you have to write like this. And these two dots is called is to. We generally used to we use these symbols to represent ratios, guys. Please understand this. Let's move on to proportion, guys. After that we will discuss couple of examples. Before that I will show you some short tricks and some concepts so that you can understand better. So I think this is all about ratio, guys. It's a really simple thing, right? I think we have been studying this thing since our childhood, till intermediate we studied ratio and proportion. So I think you don't need to go deep into this, just a basic thing, just we will see overview of this. So let's move on to proportion, friends. Just now I told you what is ratio. Now let us discuss about proportion. So what I said in ratio in ratio we used to compare two or more quantities, two or more similar quantities. But here in proportion, what we used to do is we compare two or more ratios, or two or more similar ratios. For example, in proportion, if we have an expression like a by b equals to x by y, what does it mean? That a by b fraction is equal to x by y. So if I ask you, show me the relationship in terms of proportion, what we will do? Nothing, friends. As we know how to write a fraction part in ratio, a is to b. And how to write x by y in ratio, x is to y, right? So in proportion, when we write any expression, any fractional expression in terms of proportion, equals to sign used to turn into these four dots, right? So what does it mean? It is a is to b is equal to x is to y. This ratio is proportional to this ratio. Both are same, both are equal. That's all about proportion, friends, right? So if I say, for example, see, if I say 50 upon 10 is equal to 500 upon 100, I will say, let me, a is 50 by 10 and b is 500 by 100. I say a is proportion to b. Of course, if I solve this, what we will get, friends? We will get 5 is to 1, right? Or 5 by 1. And what we get by solving this? Exactly same, 5 by 1. So we can say that a is proportion to b. So proportion is nothing but equalizing the two ratios, right, friends? So we can say a is proportion to b. That is nothing but a by b. Like here, as I showed you, two ratios, a by b equals to x by y. We can write it in terms of proportion also. A is to b is equal to x is to y. Just equalizing two ratios, friends. That's it, guys. That's all about proportion, guys. So I think now you have a clear idea about what is ratio and proportion. We didn't go into concept, guys. I'm just showing what is ratio and proportion. Now we will see the original concept, guys. Now we have to step on to original concept. What now you have to be little, you have to pay little attention, because now I'm going to show you a couple of like 6 or 7 short tricks or rules which you have to keep in mind while solving the questions. So if it is possible, please note it down what I'm going to teach you now. So I think this is all about ratio and proportion, just an introduction. So now let us see some short tricks or little couple of examples also. After that I will discuss couple of examples also. Before that I will discuss some short tricks or some points, and it is really important, so make sure that you note it down, friends. So let's move on. So friends, let's move on to some important points from ratio and proportion. So please make sure, guys, you note it down. I'm saying this again and again because these points are really important for beginners. So please note it down if it is possible in a separate sheet, and try to remember those points while solving the questions. So the first rule is like a by b equals to c by d, right? And it can be written as AD equals to CB. So this is the first rule, guys. Nothing, just we cross multiplied this and we got this thing, guys. So please note it down. So A by B equals to C by D is also can written as AD equals to CB. So these things we will use while solving questions, friends. So please make sure that you note it down. And the next rule is, these are some small rules, guys. You can easily understand it. Just if you have a basic mathematical knowledge, you can easily understand. We just cross multiplied these both things and we got this expression, friends. So in next view, for example, if you want to if you want to know which ratio is which fraction is greater one or which one is smaller one, for that we have the same thing. Just like, for example, if we have two fractions, a by b and c by d, if we want to see which ratio is bigger one, which ratio is smaller than, we can easily just cross multiply it. When we cross multiply this, what we will get? A by d and c by b, right? In case if a by d is greater than c by d, then the first expression will be the greater one. In case if a by d is smaller than c by b, then the second expression will be the greater one. That's it, guys. This is simple rules, guys. So please note it down. I don't think that you really note, need to be noted down. Just keep it in your mind. Just you have to cross multiply. If the first thing is, if it is greater, then the first fraction is greater. If the second expression is greater, then the second, fraction is greater. That's it, guys. This is simple stuff, guys. So friends, now let me tell you something about componendo rule of ratio and proportion. So what is componendo rule of ratio and proportion? What does it say? Componendo. Sorry for my writing, guys. My writing is very horrible. Try to understand, please. And I apologize for my writing. So it's really tough to. I know for some students it's really tough to understand my writing. But you don't have another option. Please deal with it. So guys, what componendo rule of ratio and proportion says, if we have an expression like a upon b equals to b upon c upon d, sorry guys, this is c upon d, componendo rule says a plus b divided by b equals to c plus d divided by d. So this is the componendo rule, guys. We will use this rules in while solving the question. So that time you will understand better why we are using this, where to use this. Similarly, we have one more rule called dividendo. You don't need to remember these names, guys. Nobody is going to ask in the examination what is componendo rule and dividendo rule. Just you have to remember just what is what is this and what a lot is. So in dividendo rule, exactly, it says if you have an expression a by b equals to c by d, you write a minus b divided by b equals to c minus d divided by d. Just opposite to the componendo rule, guys. In componendo rule we use addition sign. In dividendo rule we write subtraction sign. That's it. Not a big difference, guys. So just remember this. Just if it's for some students, if it is not possible to remember these formulas or these points, just note it down, guys. That is enough. So friends, in inversion rule, it says that if you have an expression a upon b equals to c upon d, then the inverse of this expression b upon a equals to d upon c. Right, guys? That means the inversion of the real expression is also equal. And here what I want to say is, if there is an expression a upon b is equal to c upon d, then the inverse of this expression, this fractional expression, is also equal to each other. Like in terms of ratio, if we want to show this expression, how can we show? Like if a is to b is proportional to c is to d, then b is to a is also proportional to d is to c. Now you are getting my point, guys? So in inversion rule it is very easy that the inverse of any fractional expression or any proportional expression, the inverse of that thing is also equal. But if you ask me, if I write b is to a is proportional to c is to d, then that is a wrong thing, guys. Right? So we have some things called extremes and means. So we will learn in next rules what is extremes and what is means. So in that, what is first proportion, what is second proportion, what is extreme proportion, what is mean proportion. In that you will clearly understand why we write this. But so far, please make sure that if we write a is to b is proportional to c is to d, then their inverse b is to a is also proportional to d is to c. You cannot write b is to a is proportional to c is to d. Okay, if you are changing the position of these two, you make sure that you have to change this also. If you are inversing this, then you have to inverse this fraction also. Then only it will become in proportion. Otherwise, it won't be equal, guys. I hope you understand, guys. Yes. names are not important, but that rule is called invertendo, guys. So nobody is going to ask you any name in examination. Just for your knowledge sake, I'm telling you these all names: componendo, dividendo. You don't need to remember these names, but if you if you learn, that will be good. If somebody asks you, that time you should be able to name those rules. So next, I think we have one more, I think last rule, I think. If this is also related to names only, you have to know, sir, just for your knowledge sake, you have to know these things. Seems small and some petty things. A is to B is to C, right, guys? So when you have a ratio like this, when you are when somebody says A is to B is to C, if we have a ratio like this, what we used to say is this is first proportion, this one is second proportion, and this one is third proportion, guys, right? And make sure, remember one thing, guys, when you have a 3 elements, the first element and the last element, called extreme proportion, right? So first element and last element is always called extreme proportion, so don't get confusion, guys. And B, right, the middle element, it is called mean element, because it is in middle, right? Just remember like that, it is called mean proportion, right? So I hope you understand, guys. So the first and last element is called extreme proportion, and the middle element, that is nothing but second element, is called mean proportion. And related to this, I'm not going to show you how to solve, because I know, like, see, this is nothing but, guys, like, you can write this as A by B equals to B by C. Okay, let me show how to solve this. Why it is called extreme proportion, why these both things are called extreme proportion, why it is means proportion. So when you break it down, what you will get, A by B is equal to B by C. It means like that only. Okay, A is to B is to C is nothing but A by B is equal to B by C. We just wrote it in terms of ratio. So when you break it down in fraction, you have to write like A by B is equal to B by C. So when we solve this, what we will get? We will get, see, if we cross multiply this, we will get B square equals to AC, right? So this is also very important, guys. Note it down. This formula we are going to use in solving questions. So right, so when we break it down, you can write it as a B square is equal to AC, right? So this is all about this thing, guys. This is extreme proportion. And one more thing, guys, if we have a 4 elements, for example, A is to B is to C is to D, right? Or when we say 2 ratios, sorry guys, for this is, I think we have to write like A is to B A is to B is proportion to C is to D, right? When we have like this, we can write it as here. Before that, let me tell you something. Here A and D are called extreme proportions. Always remember, guys, doesn't matter how many elements do you have in one ratio, always the first element and the last element is called extreme proportion. Usually you used to get only a comparison of 2 ratios only, you won't get more than that. So, and here B and C is called mean proportion, because they both are in middle, so it is called mean proportion, guys. So see, is little hodgepodge, guys, so just try to understand it. My writing is not that good, so since it is just an introduction, so I am writing like this, so don't mind, guys. So friends, I think that's it, guys. So A and D here are extreme proportion, and B and C is a mean proportion. And you can, if I ask you to write it in terms of fraction, how can you write? A by B equals to C by D, right? That's it, right? That is all about the rules. So whatever I explained you about these rules, tricks, please note it down separately in a sheet, so that in future, whenever we solve any questions based on ratio and proportion, that time we have to use these things. So I think that's all about these rules and regulation, guys. So I think we should move on to solving questions, some couple of examples, so that we can understand this ratio and proportion topic clearly. So today I think I can teach you only some easy level questions, especially for the beginners. so that you can understand this topic better, how to solve questions, some easy level. We will try some easy level question in next video. As I said in beginning, in next video I will come up with some advanced questions or little tough questions. So today only we are going to discuss easy level questions, friends. So I think that's all about today. Let's move on to some couple of examples. After that I think we can end this video. So let's move on to some examples. So friends, let's see some examples from ratio and proportion. So as I told you before that we are going to discuss only some easy level questions, friends. So I think let me start with this example. So the question is, A is to B is equals to 2 is to 3, B is to C is equals to 4 is to 5, and C is to D is equals to 6 is to 7. Then what is A is to D? So friends, in this question, what is given? A is to B is 2 is to 3, right? And B is to C equals to 4 is to 5. And C is to D is given as 6 is to 7. Now we have to find A is to D, right guys? So now how can we find the answer for this solution? This is very easy question, guys. So as I told you before, please remember all the rules what I have explained you. So A is to B can be also written as A by B equals to 2 by 3. Just we are writing these ratios in terms of fractions, right? So B is to C is also can be written as 4 by 5, and C is to D is also written as 6 by 7, right guys? See, if you can see, we have some common things, B, C, right? So if we multiply these, definitely we can get A is to D, like A by B into B by C into C by D, right? And here we write all the respective values of these fractions. 2 by 3 is to 4 by 5 multiplied by 6 by 7. See guys, here B cancelled, C cancelled, so we have A by D, right? A by D equals to, here also we can cancel, right guys? 3 ones are 3 twos are. So if we calculate this, 5 sevens are 35, right? And 2 fours are 8, 8 twos are 16. So we got the fraction value. Now we have to find the ratio in terms of ratio. Nothing, friends, that's right. A is to D is equal to 16 is to 35. That's it, guys. How is it is right, guys? That's what you have to do. Just we have to multiply all these values. You will get A by D, and A by D is nothing but A is to D. So this is the first example, guys. Just note it down. So friends, let's move on to next question. So in this question, the question is like, if A plus B is to B plus C is to C plus A is equal to 7 is to 8 is to 9, find A is to B is to C. Right guys? So in this question, it is given like A plus B is to B plus C is to C plus A equals to 7 is to 8 is to 9, right guys? So now we have to find A is to B is to C, right? So now what we can do, guys, if we simply add these ratios together, I think definitely we can able to find what is A plus B plus C. So once we find A plus B plus C, we can easily substitute those values in these ratios and we can get the answer. Let me show how we can do it. So if we add these ratios together, like A plus B plus B plus C plus C plus A equals to 7 plus 8 plus 9, right guys? So here if we solve this, what we will get? We have 2a, 2b, 2c, so we can write we can take 2 as a common, so 2a plus b plus c, right? So here's 9 plus 8 is 17, 17 plus 7 is 24, so a plus b plus c is equal to 24 by 2 equals to 12. So guys, we got the value of a plus b plus c. So here we can see that now what we have to do, we have to substitute any one value. You can easily find another value, right? So we know that a plus b plus c is equal to 12. Here we can see a plus b, right? So a plus b is 7 here, right? Respective value, we have to substitute the respective value. So 7 plus c equals to 12, right guys? So if we transfer 7 from this side to that side, it will become in negative. So c is equal to 12 minus 7, that is nothing but 5, right? So we get the value of c is equal to 5. Now let's find other values. So if c is 5, we can easily substitute in this, like b plus c is 8 here, right? Respective value of b plus c is 8, right? So here we got the value of c, so b plus 5 is equals to 8, right? So for b equals to 8 minus 5, that is nothing but 3. So we got the value of b is 3. Now we can substitute this b value in a plus b, right? So here we can write here, let me write here. So a plus b equals to, the respective value of a plus b is 7, right? So a plus 3 equals to 7 minus 3 and a equals to 4, right? So we got a equals to 4, right? So we got a equals to 4, b equals to 3 and c is equal to 5. So the respective value is a is to b is to c is 4 is to 3 is to 5, right guys? So this is very easy question guys. I am telling you because I am solving this question without using any short trick, because first you have to understand the traditional method guys. So once you get knowledge about traditional method, or how to solve it, what is the steps involved in this, then you can easily find your own shortcut method. Shortcut is nothing but skipping the steps, right? Once you get used to anything, you always used to skip those steps, right? So once you skip, that means you are speeding up, your calculation is getting better. So that is only called shortcut guys. Shortcut is just skipping the steps, right? If I'm in traditional method, if I am writing these 4 steps, in shortcut method I will directly write these steps, right? So that is called shortcut. Shortcut is nothing, we don't have any special thing like shortcut, only you are skipping the steps, that is called shortcuts. So I hope you understand this guys. So note it down clearly. So I have little space, that's why I'm writing little congesting, this place is little congesting, so that's why I'm writing very closely together. So if it is possible, just note it down it clearly. So what we did, we got the value. See, we have a question like a plus b is to b plus t is to c plus a equals to 7 is to 8 is to 9. So what we did, we added these ratios together. So when we add it, we get expression like 2a plus b plus c, and when we add these ratios, we get a value of 24. Then further solving, we have to find the value of a plus b plus c together. So we got it as 12, right? Now when we get a plus b plus c is equal to 12, then we know the value of a plus b here, right? A plus b is equal to 7, b plus c is equal to 8, c plus a is equal to 9. Just simply you have to substitute, and some simple mathematical operations guys. I think you can easily do this. Just you have to substitute these values and you have to find the individual values of a, b and c. Then just you have to write in terms of ratios guys. So that's it. So how easy it is guys, right? So I think next we have to move to another example, and I think 2 or 3 more examples are enough to understand. Easy level examples are enough to understand the concept. In upcoming video I will teach you some formulas also, so that you can understand better, and we will try some tough level questions guys. It's like application sums, so that you can understand in very better manner. So in this video I think only easy level questions are enough to understand. So whatever I showed you some couple of rules and regulations. Just to understand this, we need some easy level questions. That's it guys. So I hope you understand this question. Let's move on to next question. So So friends, let's move on to another question. So in this question says if A is to B is equals to 2 is to 3 and B is to C equals to 4 is to 5, then what is the value of A is to B is to C? So friends, I think this is little important question, because in some exams, in preliminary exams, sometimes they ask this kind of question. This question is based on continued proportion, because you have to find A is to B is to C. So in here what we have given is A is to B is given as 2 is to 3, right guys, and B is to C is given as 4 is to 5, and we have to find A is to B is to C, right guys. So this is called continued proportion guys, because we have to find a continuous proportion, first proportion, second proportion, and as well as third proportion we have to find. So in this question we have to see a common element guys. We know that common element is B is also here, B is also here guys. Just you have to multiply it. You have to find you no need to go for the traditional method like it's very big, but still I'm just telling you for knowledge sake that you have to find the LCM, then you have to multiply it. You will get a is to B is to C. I will show you how to do that. So friends, whenever you get question like this, whenever you want to find the proportion, like continued proportion, like if they are giving A is to B, two ratios, A is to B and B is to C, and when you find any one element common, especially the mean element like B and B, if you find this common, you don't need to do anything guys. I will tell you, you can write it as A is to B, B is to C. These two things, they used to come like opposite to cross to each other, like diagonally opposite to each other, and just you have to first multiply A and B, then multiply B and B, then after that multiply B and C. You will get three values, right? Let me show how. So what is the value of A is to B? That is 2 is to 3, right guys? And what is the value of B is to C? That is nothing but 4 is to 5. So now we have to find a continued proportion of A is to B is to C. That means we have to find three values, right? So first what I told you, first multiply A and B, that is 4 2s are 8, right? Right guys? Now multiply B and B, cross, right? 4 3s are 12, right guys? Now multiply B and C, that is nothing but 3 and 5, that is 15. That's it guys. Got the value? So our answer is 8 is to 12 is to 15, right guys? So whenever you get question like this, like A is to B is equal to any value, B is to C is equal to any value, look the common thing. So you are getting B and B and you have to find the continued proportion, that is nothing but A is to B is to C. That time you have to do nothing, just write like this, like A is to B, and downside you just write B is to C, like so that, and make sure that B and B should come diagonally opposite to each other, then only you can apply this pattern. Okay, so after doing that, just you have to multiply A and B first, you will get your answer, then B and B you will get second proportion, then B and C you will get your third proportion guys, right? So whatever we did here, again I will explain you again. First we multiplied 2 into 4 8, we got the first proportion, then B and B, that is nothing but 4 into 3 12, we got the mean proportion, that is second proportion, and at last we multiplied 3 and 5, that is nothing but 3 5s are 15. So we got our value A is to B is to C. This is called continued proportion, right guys? That's it guys. This is how we have to solve this kind of question. So I think one more example is enough. We will end up this video with another example. So as I told you that just we are going with easy examples only. Next video we will discuss some of the tough examples. So I think one more example is enough guys. So let's move on to next question. So friends, our next question is I think this question is related with the previous question what we discussed, like A is to B, we used to find A is to B is to C. So in here we have the similar question, like if A is to B is equal to 2 is to 3 and B is to C is equal to 4 is to 5. Again guys, it is a continued proportion. We have to find first A is to B is to C. Then now instead of finding a is to b is to c, we have to find a square is to b square is to bc. Nothing but nothing friends, just you have to find a is to b is to c, then easily we can find what is a square is to b square is to bc. So here we have given that a is to b is same whatever I taught you in last question. So here b is to c is 4 is to 5, right? And we have to find a square is to b square is to bc. So if you find a, b, c, you can easily substitute these values in this and you can easily find what is a square is to b square is to bc. So how I showed you how to find continued proportion. First we have to find a is to b is to c, right? So for that, write a is to b like this and b is to c just down to that. Now similarly here write the values of these ratios respectively. 2 is to 3, 4 is to 5. So first what we have to do, multiply a and b, right? So 2 4s are 8, right? Then b and b, multiply b and b, that is 4 3s are 12, right guys? Now multiply 3 and 5, right? b and c, so we will get 15, right? So we got the value 8 is to 12 is to 15 guys, right? Now easily just put what is the value of a, 8. So what is the value of a square? 8 into 8, 64, right guys? Yep. Now what is the value of b? This is 12. What is b square? 12 square is what? 144, right? Yes guys. Now what is the value of 15? What is the value of c? 15. And what is the value of b? 12, right? So what is 12 into 15? I think 12 into 15 is 12 into 15, 15 just 150 and 15 and 12 15 to the 30, 150 plus 30 is 180, right guys? So 180, right? So 64, 144 and 180. Now further if we simplify this, what we will get? So which table we can take the common? I think we can cut this with 4 table, right? So I think 4 16s are, and here 4 is a 12 and 12 44 and 4 36 are, I think, yes, and 180 is 4 4 is 16 30, so 45 guys. So I think the value of a square is to b square is to bc is 16 is to 36 is to 45 guys. So if there is any mistake in calculation, please check it guys. So this is our value. I hope you understand this guys. 16 is to 36 is to 45 is our answer. I think this much example is enough to understand the basic concept of ratio and proportion, friends. So as I told you before, we will come up with I will come up with next video in which we will discuss more number of questions so that we can understand this topic in a better manner. And so in that video we will discuss some application sums. So I think whatever I taught you so far, please keep it in mind and try to solve more number of easy level questions so that you can understand better. So in next video we will discuss more number of questions. So guys, I think that's all for today. In this video we discussed what we discussed. We discussed what is ratio, what is proportion, then we discussed some rules and regulations, some 7 to 8 rules. And please keep those rules in mind. We are going to use the rules while solving other tough level questions. So and again we solved some couple of questions, and we know we learned how to find a continued proportion. Like if we have a is to b and b is to c, so we have a common b, so we have to find a is to b is to c. So with this technique we can find the continued proportion a is to b is to c, guys. So I think this is enough for today. So in next video I will come up with more number of questions. Until then, take care and try to solve more number of questions and practice regularly, friends. So thank you so much guys for watching this video. If you like this video, please hit the like button and share this video with your friends. Thank you so much guys. See you in next section.